Today we are going to fix this DDI-1 Schneider or Amstrad disk drive. That's the external drive you can use either on the 6128 or the 464 and 664. For the 464 you need this interface which allows you to connect not one but two disk drives, and I have yet to come across one of these drives where the belt hasn't completely disintegrated. So let's open this up and change the belt. And normally if you remove the cover you're already greeted with some pieces of the belt. So let's see how that goes here. To open this up you have to remove two screws on the bottom that are very long, and these do hold the PCB in place. These are Phillips head screws, and then you have two Phillips head screws on both the right and the left side, and these have to go too. And then you can simply lift off the cover, and this whole unit is divided in two parts. This is the power supply part because this does connect to mains voltage, and the drive is loose already because the side screws also keep the drive in place. So to get the drive out you have to remove these two cables. There's the ribbon cable which does the data stuff, and the power source. So let's remove these cables. That's a little bit fiddly. Always touch the drive on this metal case here, because that way you will be sure not to break anything. And I use a flathead screwdriver to gently push the cable from the connector, and the same on the other side, and that works pretty well, like that. And then you have one ground cable, and there's a version where the ground cable is up somewhere here and one where it's down here. So it's down here this time. So let's unscrew this. Good, so the drive is free finally. And what we have to do now, oh, you can already see this spot right here, that black spot. That is the drive belt that has turned around completely. So we have to remove a few more screws. And as I said, this is not a drive I have worked on before, so I imagine it's these two. The last drive I worked on had 4 screws on the back, like that, and there's one more small screw right here, and these come out nicely. That's good. They have little washers, so make sure to keep these, and you have to pull it back a little because there's a drive LED that is stuck in the front here. And before you can do anything, you have to remove this connector right here, because that is so tight in there that you can't even get this whole thing to move here. So let me quickly get this out. Let me check. And that is very, very fiddly. Okay, so these drives are a real pain to work on. I just noticed these cables are clipped in here, so I guess if we lift those clips, I've never seen those clips before. If we lift those clips, you will get a little bit more headroom here. There we go. And that clip too. Okay, that is that. And then you have to turn this around, and there's another cable on the other side. You have to pull this too. And now there's a little room to work on, but not much. Let me see if we can still get a little bit more room here. But I don't think so without desoldering. So looks like this is all we get. And you can already see down here where the belt is integrated, and that is what we have to take out again. So it's just a matter of removing this and putting on a new one. And as you can see, this comes off pretty easy. And it's mostly some gooey shit that has wrapped around the motor that turns this belt. There come even more pieces falling out. There's one more. Yeah, there's always one piece that's really on there. And let me see. There's even more, I guess. This is pretty much it. Yeah, I have to clean that motor thing here. Let me get you a closer look. You can see this little Okay, then we clean all this with some cotton swabs and alcohol. And as you can see, there's quite some stuff still on there. And we do the same on the bigger wheel, on the black thing in there, just to make sure there's still some cable on there, some of this on there I can see. Yes, so this belt completely disintegrated and just left a mess. Thankfully, these broken belts are normally the only point of failure in these drives. They are pretty reliable otherwise. They are pretty reliable otherwise. So let me grab one of these belts, and I think I will go with this one, which should be about the size. So, by the way, this grab bag of belts cost me €5 on Amazon, and I did do some drive repairs with these. Now comes the tricky part, to put this all together. So we'll better do this from the other side, even if it's a little bit narrower. And then lay it flat if it's around the black wheel, and just pull this all the way over the motor. And just like that, there's a new belt. It's really hard to see inside here. Okay, so let's put this back together and check if it really works. Would be interesting to see. So we have to put back in all these small cables. And it's only 2 here. On the other drive there are 4 or 5. And make sure that you put the drive LED back in here. And then you just wait, we have to do some cable management here, I think, and put this back into the clips. Okay. Put the screws back in. Check which goes where. Oh, and I made the mistake you shouldn't make, which is to put in the drive LED correctly. Because that puts some strain on the LED and might break it. The drive is back together. Let's connect it and see what happens. And then the power connector and the data cable. Make sure that you put these in back the way they were, but there's not much room anyway, so not a great chance to change this anyway. Okay, before we close this up, let's give it a try. Most important things if you work with these drives is to switch on the drive first, because the interface of the floppy drive gives the 464 some new basic commands, and if you switch on the 464 first, then these commands are not available. Monitor's already on. Let's switch on the machine. Works, nice. Let's put in a disk and let's say cat. And here we go. Perfect. Nice. So let's see if we can run Boulder Dash 3. And that seems to work nicely. Great. So one more DDI-1 fixed. Awesome. See you next time. Bye-bye. This is Retro is Your New Black. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time.